Hello everyone. So today we start with our lecture on phenylalanine and tyrosine metabolism. Today we will see all the disorders which are related with the phenylalanine and tyrosine metabolism. So let's come to the phenylalanine and tyrosine metabolism disorders. So metabolic disorders associated with catabolic pathway of phenylalanine and tyrosine. These two amino acids are very important and they may give rise to metabolic disorders. Like if the metabolic effects are there are some disease or disorders. They are phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, tyrosinemias, Hawkinson-urea and Segawa syndrome. So all these all these disorders related to catabolic pathway of phenylalanine and tyrosine we will see. So first we will see phenylketonuria, then alkaptonuria and then tyrosinemias and then these disorders. Now before this we see the catabolic pathway of phenylalanine and tyrosine. So phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine in presence of enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. If this pathway is inhibited or this enzyme is deficient, then the disorder will appear is known as phenylketonuria. So the first disorder with the first enzyme is phenylketonuria. Then after this tyrosine is then converted into para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate and then homogentisate and then melyl acetoacetate. This tyrosine if this is converted into para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate in presence of enzyme tyrosine transaminase. If this enzyme is inhibited, then the disorder is tyrosinemia type 2. It is type 2. Tyrosinemia type 1 is present here. You just see here it is tyrosinemia type 2. Then in absence or in deficient of para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate hydroxylase enzyme, the disorder associated is neonatal tyrosinemia. So in this pathway we will see there are 3 tyrosinemias: type 1, type 2 and neonatal tyrosinemia. Then this homogentisate is converted to melyl acetoacetate in presence of enzyme homogentisate oxidase. If this enzyme is deficient, then the disorder is alkaptonuria. So two types of nuria, phenylketonuria and alkaptonuria, are shown in this diagram and 3 tyrosinemias have been shown. So this melyl acetoacetate then is converted into fumaryl acetoacetate in presence of enzyme melyl acetoacetate cis trans isomerase enzyme. Then fumaryl acetoacetate is converted into fumarate and acetoacetate in presence of enzyme fumaryl acetoacetate hydroxylase, and the disorder deficient of this enzyme, the disorder is tyrosinemia type 1. So you just see here that 1, 2 and 3 are hydroxylase enzyme. The deficiency disorders, 3 are hydroxylase enzyme and 1 is oxidase and 1 is transaminase. So 5 disorders we have discussed here. 3 are tyrosinemias and 2 are phenylketonuria and alkaptonuria. So the first enzyme and tyrosinemia type 1 and neonatal tyrosinemia, these 3 diseases are because of hydroxylase enzyme, and alkaptonuria it is because of oxidase enzyme, and tyrosine transaminase causes tyrosinemia type 2. And the final product, the degradation product of metabolism of phenylalanine and tyrosine is acetate, acetyl coenzyme A, and fumarate. You can see all the three are there. Or if the choice is fumarate, acetoacetate, then you will take this two. And if the choice is fumarate, acetate, and acetyl coenzyme, then these three you will take. Now, phenylketonuria, that was due to the excess phenylalanine is metabolized to phenyl ketones, that is phenyl pyruvate and phenyl acetate, that are excreted in urine, giving rise to the term that is known as phenylketonuria, that is PKU. Then the type 1 phenylketonuria, most common metabolic disorder concerned with amino acid. It is excess phenylalanine is metabolized to phenyl ketones like phenyl pyruvate and phenyl acetate that are excreted. Now the biochemical defect is that phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is deficient, so phenylalanine could not be converted to tyrosine. So phenylalanine in the blood rises, and the alternate metabolic pathway the alternate metabolic pathway. This phenylalanine is not converted to tyrosine, but it changes its path into phenyl pyruvate, and which phenyl pyruvate is converted into phenyl acetate, or this phenyl pyruvate is converted into phenyl acetate and phenyl acetyl glutamine. So these are the products which are synthesized, and these are keto compounds. That's why the term is known as phenylketonuria. So the phenylalanine is converted into its keto forms, that is phenyl pyruvate and phenyl acetate. The enzymes responsible are transaminase, and the processes are reduction, carboxylation, and conjugation. So these are the alternate pathway which phenylalanine does if the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is absent. Then this pathway will occur, and increase in these keto compounds the condition is known as phenylketo. Now clinical presentation of phenylketonuria, you see the affected infant is normal at birth but profound intellectual disability. Vomiting is there, sometimes severe enough to be misdiagnosed as phlebitic stenosis. Hyperactive with autistic behavior, lighter complexion due to decreased melanin synthesis, unpleasant mousy or musty odor due to phenylacetic acid. The brain is the main organ affected by hyperphenylalanemia. The high blood levels of phenylalanine in phenylketonuria saturate the transport system across the blood-brain barrier and causing inhibition of the cerebral uptake of the other large neutral amino acids such as trypsin and tryptophan. The brain is the main organ, we have seen this. Now lab diagnosis of phenylketonuria. The first is Guthrie test, bacterial inhibition assay of Guthrie. It is rapid screening test in the blood sample. First method used for this purpose, and certain strains of Bacillus subtilis need phenylalanine as an essential growth factor, and bacterial growth is proportional to blood phenylalanine. Now ferric chloride test. This is also screening test in urine. This was in blood. This is in urine. It identifies phenyl ketones in urine sample. Nowadays it has no place in any screening program, specially developed in developed countries. This test have been replaced by more precise and quantitative methods like fluorometric and tandem mass spectrophotometry. Tandem mass spectrometry, this is the method of choice in tandem mass spectrometry which identifies all forms of phenylalaninemia. Then other methods are molecular biology techniques like phenylalanine hydroxylase specific probes, quantitative measurement of blood phenylalanine. It is if the blood phenylalanine is more than 20 milligram per deciliter in phenylketonuria. And enzyme assay in dry blood also is done. Now treatment is the only treatment is phenylalanine diet should be low. Administration of large neutral amino acids is another approach, and sapropterin dihydrochloride, that is QVAM, a synthetic form of BH4, is approved by FDA. Then preliminary trials with recombinant phenylalanine ammonia lyase is there. Then rationale for using large neutral amino acids as treatment of phenylketonuria. The rational use of large neutral amino acids is that these molecules compete with phenylalanine for transport across blood-brain barriers, and therefore large concentration of other these amino acids in the intestinal lumen and in the blood reduce the uptake of phenylalanine into bloodstream and the brain. Now non-classical phenylketonuria, it is due to the hyperphenylalaninemia due to tetrahydrobiopterin defect. Type 2 phenylketonuria and type 3 phenylketonuria, they are due to deficiency of enzyme dihydrobiopterin reductase. Then the type 4 and type 5 are due to defect in enzyme that synthesize tetrahydrobiopterin, that is 6-pyroviol tetrahydropterin synthase, and guanosine triphosphate cyclohydrolase. Then lab diagnosis is measurement of neopterin and biopterin and tetrahydrobiopterin loading, enzyme assay in dry blood spot, and genetic mutation analysis help in to confirm the diagnosis. Now the second disease, that is alkaptonuria. It is also autosomal recessive disorder. It is the first inborn error detected. It belongs to Garoid's tetrad, that is alkaptonuria, albinism, pentosuria and cystinuria. These all four diseases together are known as Garoid's tetrad. So it is one of that disease. And the biochemical defect, we see that homogentisate oxidase deficiency. It is because of homogentisate oxidase deficiency. Accumulation of homogentisic acid which polymerize to form alkaptone bodies. And clinical presentation of alkaptonuria, it is normal life till 3rd and 4th decade. Urine darkens on standing in the only manifestation in children. So when urine is kept for long time, it becomes or darkens. Adult ochronosis, that is alkaptone bodies deposited. Organ damage is believed to result from accumulation in intervertebral disc, cartilage of nose, pinna, etc., leading to pigmentation and also arthritis. And but here there is no intellectual defect which was in phenylketonuria. So the biochemical defect, you see, phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine, and this tyrosine is converted into para-hydroxyphenylpyruvate, homogentisate, and ultimately into mallyl acetoacetate. But it is due when this homogentisate oxidase is absent, this enzyme, then this homogentisate is converted into benzoquinone acetate and alkaptone bodies. So these alkaptone bodies are synthesized. So this is the normal pathway. but due to defect in this enzyme, it alternates its pathway from this to this. So it synthesizes benzoquinone acetate and alkaptone bodies. So these alkaptone bodies uh, are increased, and homogenticate is increased in the deficiency of this enzyme, and the condition is known as alkaptonuria. That's why they are known as alkaptone bodies are present. Now urine when exposed to air slowly turns black from top to bottom. This, and there is a one term, ochronosis. What is that ochronosis? In long standing cases, deposition of homogentisic acid derivatives in cartilage of ear and other exposed parts lead to generalized pigmentation of connective tissue, and deposition in joints leads to arthritis and a condition this is known as ochronosis. So all wherever exposed parts are there, it is deposition of homogentisic acid, and the condition is known as ochronosis. Now the laboratory diagnosis for alkaptonuria is alkalinization increases darkening of urine. Benedict test positive in urine because homogentisic acid is also a reducing agent, and ferric chloride test is also positive, and silver nitrate test is also positive. Then treatment is, new drug is nitisinone, which inhibit para hydroxyphenyl pyruvate hydroxylase, and which leads to the decreased accumulation of homogentisic acid. Now we come to the third, that is tyrosinemias. So here we will see tyrosinemia type 1, tyrosinemia type 2, neonatal tyrosinemia, and hereditary tyrosinemia. So 4 types of tyrosinemia we will see. So first it is tyrosinemia type 1, that is also known as tyrosinosis, and the defect is in the fumarate acetoacetate hydroxylase enzyme is deficient, and also sometimes mallyl acetoacetate isomerase enzyme is deficient. Because of these two enzyme deficiency, the condition is known as tyrosinosis, and features are it is inherited disorder, accumulation of metabolites that adversely affect the activities of certain enzymes and transport system. Tyrosine level is elevated from 6 to 12 milligram per deciliter. In acute tyrosinosis, there are 2 types of tyrosinosis, that is acute and chronic. In acute, infants exhibit diarrhea, vomiting, and a cabbage-like odor, and these are associated with liver damage. Infant die from liver damage. And the chronic one, it is clinical symptoms are similar to this, but they are milder. Then tyrosinemia type 2, that is also known as Richner-Hanhart syndrome, and enzyme deficient is hepatic transaminase enzyme is deficient, and this, due to this transaminase enzyme deficiency, the clinical symptoms are mental retardation mild to moderate, skin lesions, that is dermatitis, and eye lesions are also seen. Some infants may exhibit self mutilation and disturbance in fine coordination. They cannot coordinate. Plasma tyrosine level, it increases to 4 to 5 milligram per deciliter, and these tyrosine is excreted in urine. Then the third disorder, that is neonatal tyrosinemia, and it is also known as tyrosinemia type 3. The enzyme deficient is para hydroxyl phenyl pyruvate hydroxylase, or also known as dioxygenase. Blood levels of tyrosine and phenylalanine are elevated here. Urine excretion, increase in tyrosine, tyramine, para-hydroxyphenyl acetate and N-acetyl tyrosine. The fourth now defect is hereditary tyrosinemia. It is due to deficient of para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate oxidase, and it is in here the excretion of para-hydroxyphenyl lactic acid takes place, and it is not suppressed by vitamin C administration. But this neonatal tyrosinemia, it reduces its effect with vitamin C administration. Now the Segawa syndrome, that is hereditary progressive dystonia. It is due to deficiency of tetrahydrobiopterin deficiency due to defect in enzyme GTP cyclohydrolase. But interestingly, no hyperphenylalaninemia. Phenylalanine is not increased, and it is autosomal dominant inheritance, and dystonia with diurnal variation is seen. Females are affected more than males by this disease. Then Hawkinsinuria, it is the defect due to para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate hydroxylase. The mutant enzymes forms an intermediate that reacts with cysteine to form the unusual organic acid Hawkinsins, and unusual swimming pool order is there. Now we come to the NEET PG questions. This question was in recent question in January 2017. The question is tyrosinosis. Most common cause is fumaryl acetoacetate hydrolase, tyrosine transaminase, para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate hydroxylase, or homogentisate oxidase. And the answer is fumaryl acetoacetate hydrolase. That is the first one, the first enzyme, that is tyrosinemia type 1. Now this question was in PGI November 2014. Which of the following is true regarding phenylketonuria? Dietary phenylalanine restriction is used as a treatment. Occur due to deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase. Tyrosine should be supplied in the diet, or all of the above. The answer is all of the above. But in PGI the question, the choice will not be there all of the above or A, B, C. So you had tick all the three. Now this question was in AIMS February 1997. Tyrosinemias are more susceptible to develop adenocarcinoma of colon, melanoma, retinoblastoma, or hepatic carcinoma. It's clear, the answer is hepatic carcinoma. Then the question was in JIPMER May 2015. The Moussy body order is due to phenylalanine, phenylacetate, phenylbutazone, phenylacetyl glutamine, and the answer is phenylacetate. Now this question was in PGI November 2017. Hyperphenylalaninemia occurs due to phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency, phenylalanine hydroxylase overactivity, dihydrobiopterin reductase deficiency, and tyrosine hydroxylase deficiency. And the answer is A and C, that is phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency and dihydrobiopterin reductase deficiency. So the hyperphenylanemia in both disease, that is phenylketonuria and the phenylketonuria type also. Now PKU true statement is, this question was in January 2017. The neurological symptoms are due to excess phenylalanine in blood. Blood phenylalanine more than 20 mg per deciliter is suggesting bad prognosis. Urinary phenylalanine is used for screening, and no neurological symptoms. The answer is B, that is blood phenylalanine more than 20 milligram per deciliter, is suggesting bad prognosis. Now this was again in January 2017. The question is, treatment of tyrosinemia type 1 is anti-BC, vitamin B6, large neutral amino acid, or tyrosine restricted diet. And the answer is anti-BC. New drug is nitisinone, which inhibit para-hydroxyl phenyl pyruvate hydroxylase, which leads to the decreased accumulation of homogenetic acid. The next question, it was in AIMS November 2008, and the question is, a 40-year woman Benedict's reagent to urine, it gives greenish brown precipitate and blue black supernatant fluid. What is the diagnosis? Phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, tyrosinemia type 2, and arginosuccinic aciduria. And the answer is alkaptonuria. Now this was again a recent question. Type 1 tyrosinemia is caused by tyrosine transaminase, fumaryl acetoacetate hydrolase, 4-hydroxyl phenyl pyruvate hydroxylase, mallyl acetoacetate isomerase. And the answer is fumaryl acetoacetate hydrolase, that is type 1, the last step. Now this question was in PGI May 2014, and the question is, terminal product of phenylalanine metabolism is fumarate, acetyl coenzyme, acetate. So all these are, and the answer is all of the above, or you can tick fumarate, acetyl coenzyme, and acetate. So thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.